Micheàl, the last time we were speaking you mentioned about some good news for Chadwicks Wexford Park. There wasn't very many details at that stage. Are there any more details now?
Yeah, we've announced it to the county committee, I think, subsequent to that. Fantastic news in that we've secured, and there's been a lot of work ongoing over the last couple of years to secure funding for a project here in Chadwicks Wexford Park. We've secured in excess of $2.5 million now. So there are big plans now for the future development of Chadwicks Wexford Park here. I suppose initially we're looking at seating in relation to replacing the seating areas. A lot of this, the stadium now is 20 years old, and needs replacing, needs updating, and obviously a lot has happened over the last 12 months in terms of the floodlights and the pitch, and you see what fantastic condition it's in today. So the replacement seating, TV gantry for Wexford GAA TV, which would be fantastic as well to improve the positioning for cameras and so on. And then there's a huge amount of work to be done on dressing rooms. We haven't been able to have double headers in Chadwicks Wexford Park for the last number of years, so the dressing rooms will be extended outwards and then upwards as well in terms of improving our wheelchair facilities and so on. So there's an excess of $2.5 million being spent, and it's a tribute to a lot of people. Dave Tobin, who oversees our infrastructure and our development, and a lot of people have worked in relation to securing funding for this. So yeah, exciting times. The next 12 months there'll be a fairly radical overhaul now to Chadwicks Wexford Park for our patrons and for players as well. So you know, the facilities will be improved for players, for supporters, and access for all.
And you mentioned not being able to have double headers. Of course you mean there the inter-county season or the inter-county championships. We have double headers at club, but at inter-county I suppose dressing rooms are needed to be much bigger. And
yeah, and even for club, I'd say some of our club backroom teams have increased, but particularly at inter-county, the way inter-county has gone now, backroom teams probably extend to 25-30 people as well. Panels have increased since the dressing rooms were built, you know, a long number of years ago, and certainly what we've seen around other stadia is that the dressing rooms will be of a higher standard. So what we'll have in the next 12 months is dressing rooms that will be able to facilitate that, and you know, particularly we'll ensure that our home dressing room, for example, is something to be proud of, something that you know our players expect, but also something for say young kids when they come in here. You know, and we are hoping to have a lot of young players in here over the next number of weeks as well, and over months for playing under floodlights and so on. That'll be something to look forward to coming in, you know, getting access to that home dressing room.
Now for the supporter, obviously one of the main things that you mentioned there was the seating. We can see the wooden benches are the most common type in the main stand. We have a small few bucket seats. So is it going to be a case that those kind of bucket plastic seats will be extended for the whole stand, or what is the plan?
That's the aim, I suppose. We sit down now and we're going to utilise and prioritise how we spend our money. We have a huge number of projects, I suppose, across Ferns and here in Chadwicks Wexford Park. So we'll develop a plan, ensure the money is well spent. In terms of the Centre of Excellence, the Halo Tile Centre of Excellence, as I say, there'll be a big fundraising required there. This money is welcome, and there's been a huge amount of work to secure it, and we've been really prudent in the last couple of years in securing those funds. But certainly seating replacement across the whole stadium over the next couple of years would certainly be the vision. In the short term, before the football county final, those bucket seats will be replaced. I think they initially came from Coventry City in the 70s to Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and then when Páirc Uí Chaoimh was redeveloped, they came here to Chadwicks Wexford Park. So I think it's time. They've served patrons all over the UK and Ireland well. It's time for those to be replaced. There's almost a timely manner to do that. They'll be done for the county football final, and then we'll extend it on in a stage basis, because obviously we have to look at when the stadium is closed and look at when the matches are going to be. So you know, we'll be looking to do some work in say November, December, and potentially a lot of the other work will be happening next May between the county season, club season, and then following on. So it's kind of a phased 12-month project, but effectively this time next year, for those who come to Chadwicks Wexford Park, they'll certainly have seen a really upgraded stadium. And
will there be a case that when there's a big match on here, people will be allocated a row and a seat number the same as they would if it was in Croke Park?
Yeah, that's the vision. Yeah, absolutely, that's the vision. And you know, even from a health and safety point of view, they'll be able to nail down capacity and stuff like that, and maybe increase capacity. So I think it'll enhance the spectator appearance. You know, a lot has happened. To say we have our big screen, which we're looking maybe at extending as well. So we have a lot of things in the stadium that are probably unique. Our floodlights are probably the best in the country at this stage from a GAA stadium point of view. So we have a stadium to be proud of, but obviously it needs to be enhanced further.